guys, it's Sadie here. Welcome back to another video. Thank you. Today, I'm doing something a little bit different that I've never done before on my channel. Today, I'm going to be having a look at Reddit, specifically the r/Goldfish Reddit. So, Reddit videos have always been kind of a thing on YouTube, but more recently I've seen people in the pet community starting to make Reddit videos related to certain animals. I found that quite interesting, and that inspired me to want to try it as well. And I have never used Reddit before. I've never been a Reddit person. Don't know why, it's just not my thing, I guess. I use pretty much every other social media, but not Reddit. But I do watch other people do Reddit videos. I just have never even gone on it myself. So this is kind of new to me, using this platform. I don't even have an account or anything. But I thought I would do goldfish just because I feel like goldfish is always an interesting subject. And I haven't seen anyone else do goldfish before. And I am obviously very passionate about goldfish. I love my goldies I have in the back here. Goldfish are some of my favorite fish ever, and I think they're pretty underrated in the fish community. But yeah, so we're just gonna have a look, see what interesting stuff we can find to maybe talk about, or I don't know, try to help people, I guess. I had a quick look and saw some interesting things on there, so I thought it would make a good video. And then maybe if you guys end up liking this, I can do other Reddit things, if there's a cockatiel Reddit, or I don't know, other animals that I have experience with. So let's dive right into r/Goldfish. I'm just kind of gonna go through the most recent posts, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. But this is one I came across, which was very interesting to me. So we have here some pictures of some goldfish in little bowls, and it says, I went to an awards ceremony tonight and they had goldfish as the centerpieces of the tables. I took 2 home and transferred them to the same bowl. It was the best option to transfer them. I really hate that organized use live fish, but I saved 2, and I really need help. This bowl obviously is too small. It's almost midnight and I have 0 supplies. So I add filtered water to their current water and transfer them. Yeah, I've heard of this happening actually quite a lot. A lot of kind of places, ceremonies and stuff, use goldfish or betta fish as little decorations on tables. It's so crazy to me that's a thing that actually happens, and quite commonly too. And this post was only posted 4 days ago as well, so it still happens. In 2022, people still use animals as ornaments. It's so crazy, but I'm really glad this person was able to save 2 of them, and that they're on the subreddit asking for advice, because that's crazy. It makes me wonder what they do with the rest of the fish afterwards. I wonder how many people had dead goldfish on their tables. The best thing I would do in this situation would be to get a large container. If you don't have a fish tank, obviously, and if petzels are closed, or you can't afford a big fish tank right now, the best thing I would suggest is getting a large tub and using that as a temporary tank until you can get a big fish tank. Obviously that's not ideal for their whole life or anything, but as a temporary solution, a tub with clean dechlorinated water, filter if possible, a testing kit, and keeping an eye on water parameters is always a good idea, because fish are very sensitive to different water conditions, because you definitely wouldn't be able to keep them in one of these bowls for very long, since it will quickly build up with waste, which will cause a lot of ammonia in the tank. So I'm really glad this person rescued them, and I hope that they're doing well. There hasn't been any more recent comments, so I'm not sure how they're doing now, but it does seem like there is some good advice in here already, and I hope those fish are doing better. And yeah, I hope that you took people's advice and they recover well from that, because wow, that is a big old head on that fish. God damn! He is always on big brand mode. Hello everyone, I was gifted these for my birthday. It's a 30-liter tank with 5 goldfish. These are Comet goldfish as well. How can I make it better? Honestly, the only way you can make this better is by getting them a much bigger tank. And honestly, I'd probably even say to rehome some of them, just because Comet goldfish need even more space than fancy goldfish, because they're fast swimmers and they get bigger and all that. So either you find someone that has a pond that you can put them into, because they tend to do a lot better in ponds in my opinion, or you rehome some of them and just have maybe 2 in a 200-liter tank, just because these guys, they do get a lot bigger than fancy goldfish, and they are, you know, fast moving fish, so they definitely won't live very long in this size tank, because 5 is a lot, and this tank will become very gross very quickly because that filter will not be enough for that many goldfish. Oh my god, that's so cool. Is that outdoors too? I think so. I think it's like a pond, like a really nice looking pond. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's goals right there. Those fish are so beautiful. Looks so clear too. They must have like a nice UV filter or something to make it so clear like that. Oh, lovely. That's a big old goldfish poo. Looks like a big worm. Look at that. Oh my god. My fishes have fin rot. I've been medicating for a week with no improvement. Now the orange one has white on him. Wow, that's really bad. I've never seen fin rot that bad before. He's got like no tail. Maybe it's more than fin rot, honestly, because that's really bad. The thing with a lot of these is it's hard to kind of know what their solution is if they don't talk about what their water parameters are. And since this person doesn't mention anything about water quality, I'm gonna assume that's probably the big issue here, because this is some really bad fin rot and it shouldn't get this bad, especially if you've been medicating him for a week and it's no improvement. It probably means that there's some bigger issue here, like poor water quality, that is making him a lot worse. And also the water looks very cloudy, so I have a feeling that something's happened. Either their cycle has crashed, or they just haven't ever cycled it, so, and then their fish are facing the consequences of that. Usually fin rot is fairly easy to treat most of the time, with just like clean water, Indian almond leaf, and then maybe some like antibacterial medication. But this is pretty bad. It looks kind of more like he's been attacked, honestly, but I don't know. Just could be really bad fin rot. Sad. Yeah, you can see this like pine coning, which is when fish scales kind of lift and it makes them look like a pine cone, which usually means that there isn't much you can do, and is a big sign of like dropsy, which is sad. Like, I had the same thing happen to one of my goldfish a few years ago. It's always a hard thing to do, because usually the only thing you can really do when they're at this point is to humanely euthanize them, which is always horrible. Obviously you always feel bad, but I've never had a fish recover from dropsy before. And I have had fish get dropsy a couple times. I've never had any success with treating it. I always try to, then they get to the point where they just look so bad that it just wouldn't be fair to keep trying. So I end up like humanely euthanizing them. And the best way to do that is to use clove oil, which can be used to sedate fish and then also can be used to humanely euthanize them. It's always sad, but honestly, sometimes it's just what you have to do, because it's not really fair to keep them like this until they pass away in pain. Yeah, this is sad though. I even had this happen to a black moor as well. It always sucks, but that is the reality of fish keeping sometimes. Sometimes fish get things that you can't treat. This is an overstocked tank, they said, but it looks really cool. I wonder how big it is, because it looks really big. They must have some good filtration. I think they've got a canister filter, and they've got a sponge filter. That's cool. I like it. It looks really nice. There are certain times where you can overstock a tank without like having problems, by the way. That doesn't mean you should put a bunch of goldfish in a tiny tank. But if you have a super big tank that's like, you know, I don't know, 500 liters or something, you can put a bit of extra goldfish in there than you usually should, as long as you have the appropriate filtration and you over filter it, you know? Like, you want to have more filtration than you need. And this, honestly, I wouldn't say is bad. Like, probably once the goldfish start getting bigger, they may need to upgrade, but it looks like they have 2 filters, and it looks super clean, and they look super happy and healthy, so I don't think that there's anything wrong with this, personally. Oh no. Oh, that's sad. My goldfish started dying overnight. Just now I saw this goldfish shedding its scales. Does anyone know what's going on? My first thing that comes to mind is ammonia burn. He looks super red. Looks like his slime coat has peeled off, and then so his skin or scales is also peeling off. Like, as soon as I'm looking at this, it looks like it's some extreme, like, really bad ammonia burn, which is caused by, like, putting your fish in an uncycled fish tank, which causes a lot of ammonia in your tank, and that can kill your fish. Ammonia is caused by just fish waste building up and not having anything to break it down, so it just creates ammonia, which basically poisons your fish with their own feces and other waste. And this is what it looks like if it gets really bad. I mean, I don't know what else it would be, honestly. Like, do they say anything about... Yeah, okay, this is definitely ammonia. They said they did a full water change a month ago, and that was their last water change. Okay. Yeah, okay, definitely ammonia burn then. So, first of all, you shouldn't do full water changes. Doing a full water change will just likely crash your fish tank cycle. You should only be doing partial water changes every single week. So about like 25-30% water changes every week is what I do for my fish tanks. And they said they do a full water change like once a month. So I'm not surprised it ended up like this. Yeah, so it's going to be really hard to keep a stable cycle if you're going to be doing full water changes, because every time you do that, it's going to crash your fish tank cycle. This is unfortunately what happens. Very unfortunate. They can come back from this, but you have to be aware of your water parameters so you can fix that, and you need to be doing a lot more water changes than just once a month. That is not enough at all, and not full water changes. Going through the comments, it seems like they don't understand. Oh, the fish passed away. Well, that's sad. There are a lot of people trying to help them, but they don't seem to understand what ammonia is and what cycling is, so there's not much you can do when people don't seem to listen to you. When it comes to cycling, a lot of people don't understand it, which is fine, not knowing it, but you have to listen to the people trying to help you and do some research on it if you don't understand it. There's so much information out there. This is kind of funny to me. Like, this is like just what orandas do. They're pretty goofy. This is a beautiful oranda though. Look at those colors. Stunning. Sometimes like goldfish like orandas and other like fancy goldfish just like to sit in corners just to rest for a bit. It's same with other fish. Like betta fish are the same. Betta fish always rest because they have those massive tails that tire them out. It's totally normal. Don't worry if your fish is resting. Obviously it's different if your fish is doing it constantly, but they do rest quite a bit during the day. I don't know what's happening here, but my god, this looks disgusting. Just straight up, this water looks like it's thick. It looks like you touch it and it would come out like jelly. Aww, he's so cute! Oh, look at those beautiful colors. This is a tub setup, I think, as well. And it looks really nice. He's so cute. Oh my god, that is beautiful. I love him. Oh, I see this a lot too. I see a lot of goldfish with tumors in a lot of like fish groups that I'm in. Honestly, the only way to get rid of a tumor is to get it surgically removed. You can just leave, like if it's small, like this one, it is kind of getting big and there's like another one growing. But he might be okay with it for a bit. Once it starts to get so big that you can tell it's actually like affecting his movement and stuff like that, then I think you should look into getting it removed, which can be done. It's actually very commonly done. Obviously, it's always a risk, you know, going through that with your fish because they are so small and so fragile, but it still can be done. But I mean, if it's not affecting his ability to like move and eat and all that, then he should be fine until it gets to that point. Just keep that in mind and keep an eye on it, obviously. But yeah, I have seen people that have fish with like massive tumors on it and they wait until it gets so big that they can barely move, and it's just like, I don't know why you'd wait until it gets that bad, but I'm sure you'll be able to tell once it gets to the point where it is affecting him. But yeah, tumors are surprisingly pretty common in goldfish from what I've seen. I see it quite a lot. My god, that tail is small. I don't know how I feel about Ranchu goldfish. I think they're really cute, but sometimes I see them and I'm like, how can they move with their tail that small and their bodies that big? But I guess some people will say the same thing about like oranda goldfish, like orandas that have super big heads. Yeah, I don't know, they're cool, but I think I would only ever get rescue ones. Don't know if I really would support the breeding of that. It's same with like those bubble eye goldfish and even some orandas I don't support the breeding of. I do own them only because they're rescues. I wouldn't actually buy from a breeder. I'm not trying to hate or anything. That's just my opinion though. Like, it's kind of like the same as like pugs, right? They can have some health issues due to the way that they've been bred. So that's just my opinion though, but he is very cute. There's so many posts that are just like, sick fish, what do I do? No other information. I don't, like, how are people supposed to help you? This is like a swim bladder disorder a lot of fish can get. Very, very common. Now, sometimes they can actually be treated for it and it can go away, because a lot of the time when it comes to goldfish specifically, it can be due to like bloat, because goldfish can get bloated quite easily, especially if you're feeding a lot of like pellets and flakes and food that floats on the surface, not food that sinks. So sometimes this can be helped just with feeding them some vegetables, like some deshelled cooked peas, and even bloodworms can help too. It helps like them pass their food. So it's always a good idea to actually feed your goldfish stuff like deshelled peas quite often, just to avoid this happening, and also feeding it food that sinks instead of food that floats. Keep in mind that not all fish can be cured with peas. Betta fish, for example, are carnivores, so you can't cure their bloat with peas. People always try to, but they won't eat it because they're carnivores. But if that doesn't work, you can also try Epsom salt baths. Sometimes that can also help as well. You can also try like fasting them for a bit too before trying like the pea method. But usually with goldfish, they're a lot easier to cure this than other fish. So yeah, I think it's the first video is getting a bit long. But honestly, that was kind of fun. I kind of enjoyed that. So maybe I will do this again if you guys end up liking this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want me to do this again and what subreddits you'd like me to do next. So yeah, hopefully my advice could help some of you guys watching too, in case you are having a similar issue to people on here. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!